Hello, all my friends. This is Gypsy Spirit here with you, ready to give you your tarot reading from what is today, the 14th, all the way through July 20th. We'll take a look at the week and see what's going on. But damn, it's hot. If you live in Charleston or anywhere around here, oh my God, it's so hot. It's so hot. That's all I can say is it's hot. So if you're planning on if you don't live in Charleston and you're thinking about visiting, now is not the time. Unless you love, tropical sauna kind of weather, then go someplace where it's nice and cool. That's all I can say. But hey, listen, we're in retrograde right now. And we're also getting ready to hit full moon. So there's a lot of things going on. I know even for myself, I have things going on in my life that universe is really kicking me in my ass and trying to show me what it is that I need to change. The thought processes that I need to adapt to. So, and all I can say is while you're going through it, it really, really sucks. But then once you get on the other side, you get it. It's good. So let's take a look at your cards. We have a Five of Swords, okay? Five of Swords. Now remember also this is a general read, so if some of it resonates with you, that's great. What resonates with you, you take with you and hold on to it. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay too. If you want your own personal reading, you can go to my website at www.gypsyspiritcharleston.com and get your own reading, your own personal reading. Now, hey, listen, if you're in Charleston or anywhere within the vicinity, I do tarot readings on Mondays. And actually Tuesday we're having a full moon reading that I'm offering tarot and angel messages. So if you're interested in any of that and you live here in the area, let me know and we'll set something up for you. So you have a Five of Swords, a Two of Wands in reverse, and I'm going to get to all that and explain it, and a Two of Swords in reverse. Okay. So, the Five of Swords. You ever hear the saying, pick your battles? Well, this is what this is all about. Because with a Five of Swords, swords is conflict. And so there's people that you're involved with. There may be some sort of chaos or something going on, and you feel like you're not being heard, or your voice is not being heard, or you're not being taken seriously. So this card really advises you to, one, pick your battles and choose your words very carefully and speak your truth. Never be afraid to speak your truth. Even if people mock you or, make fun of you, always go with your gut intuition because it's always 9 times out of 10, it's right. I would say 99.9% chance. It's right, 99.99% chance that's right. I know for myself, there have been times when I had an intuition about something and I was scared to speak it out because I thought maybe, it was just my imagination or I just thought it was my imagination. I'll give you a real good example. And this was like back in the mid-90s. I was working for this health food store, and the lady that owned the health food store was, she was a member of the church. And I belonged to a very small community church. And of course, everybody knew each other, and everybody knew each other's business. And this woman owned a health food store and made a shitload of money just off the congregation in itself. But I worked for her, and the pastor of this church, he was very handsome, very, very handsome, and just had a suave way about himself. And he was married and had children, and his wife was just kind of a plain Jane kind of woman, but very, very sweet and kind. And so when I was working at this health food store with this woman, I listened to how she talked about the pastor. She would try to get people to come to the church and just talk about the church and the pastor and everything. And I remember thinking, if I didn't know any better, if I did not know this pastor any better than I thought I did, I would swear they were having an affair. And I remember going home. At the time I was married, and my husband and I both were very involved in the church. And I remember going home and telling my husband, if I didn't know our pastor better than I do, or as good as I do, I would swear that those two were having an affair just based on the way that she talks about him and just watching her body movement as she talks about him. And I remember at the time I was pregnant, so I was really going through some serious morning sickness. And I remember coming in one day with a bottle of ginger ale that I had bought from Bilo. And I put it in the back refrigerator where nobody went except employees. And of course it was just she and I that were employees at the time, and then she had another part-time guy. But when she saw that and she saw the saltines, she came in the back room and she said, "Honey, I can't have this stuff in my store. This goes against my ministry. This is so against my ministry, and I just can't have this stuff in my store." And I just looked at her. She'd never been pregnant before, so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. But I was like, okay, then I guess I just don't need to work here anymore. And I packed my stuff up and I walked out. And again, I went home and I told my husband at the time, I said, "I swear I think they're having an affair." And I mean, my gut was telling me all along they were having an affair. And we both left the church, my husband and I did. And it was several years, I want to say like 6-7 years later, I was talking to somebody, and this pastor had left the church. He had gone to move to England, and then he came back. And so this friend of ours came over who had belonged to that church as well. And we're talking. Now, I was very protective of this pastor because I had so much faith in him and trusted him above and beyond. And in conversation, my friend said to me, "Well, you know why he ended up going to England, right? Because he and the woman that owned the health food store were having an affair." I'll never forget, I was sitting in a chair that had arms to it, and I could feel my hands just clenching the arms of that chair because I wanted to reach over the table and smack the shit out of this woman for saying that. I didn't want to believe her. And then she and my husband went into the computer room because he wanted to show her something on the computer. And I followed them in there and I said, "How do you know?" And she said, "Lisa, everybody knows about it. I thought you knew." And I said, "No." And she said, "Yeah, they had an affair. They were having an affair for a long time. Not only did he have an affair with this person, but he had an affair with a couple of other people in the church too." And I just remember that I didn't listen to my instincts. I didn't listen to what my intuitive self was telling me. And I didn't want to believe it. And I finally, when I accepted it, I was so disappointed. But I don't know, I think one of the reasons why I was so disappointed was I was really disappointed in myself for not listening to my intuition. And so, of course, later I thought about it and I was like, okay, wait a minute. I was hurting her ministry because I had a ginger ale and crackers in her store while I was working to overcome the sickness of my pregnancy. But yet she was fucking the pastor of the church. No, that didn't hurt her ministry at all. So whatever, I'm just just pointing it out, just saying. But so that's the point of what I'm trying to tell you. Is like in the Five of Swords, like picking your battles and just listening to your true higher divine self, because that's where the truth is at. And if you got to call somebody out, then and you feel like it's your battle to fight, then by all means call them out. It's, you might create an enemy or whatever, but hey, you got to be true to yourself. And so that, I want to say I was like about 40. I'm 58 now. Oh yeah, I've learned a lot since. Actually, I was younger than 40. Because I had my baby when I was 36. So I was about 35, 36. So the next card is Two of Wands. And hey, listen here. So there's something that you're waiting on. And Wands is about work. And Two is also about union, working together. So there's something that you are working on, perhaps maybe with somebody else or in some kind of business. And the ship is coming in. I mean, it's there. It's right there. And one of the reasons that it's there, that it's right there for you, and it's coming closer, you can feel it, you can touch it, you definitely can see it, is because you are standing up for yourself and you are picking your own battles and speaking your truth. I mean, that's what it's all about, honey, is speaking your truth. And again, if people don't like it, it's those people that don't like it, those are the ones that are working against your truth. And they know that they're doing something really sneaky, and so it bothers them to have a conversation with you of any kind. Anyway, the next card is the Two of Swords. So I'm going to tell you, we have a full moon coming on. This is in reverse. So this is Swords, of course, is conflict, just like we had, the Five of Swords, picking your own battles. So there's some sort of conflict that you're going through. But I'm telling you, by the end of the week, with this new moon and the retrograde that we're in, you're going to figure it out. You're going to have the answers and the solutions to what you're looking for and what you're asking about. And whatever situation you're in right now, it may seem very confusing for you right now, especially at the beginning of the week. I mean, Tuesday is full moon, but by the end of the week, you're going to have it figured out in which way to go and how to handle this situation. You're going to have clarity. And I'm telling you, for those of you that are really working with a full moon in this retrograde, I mean, that's what the whole newsletter is all about. And if you take it in and listen to what listen to what your higher divine self is trying to tell you, then it's all everything is going to come to clarity for you. There's full moon ritual things going on all over the place. I know out on Folly Beach, they have a full moon drumming session on Tuesday night. We're having a full moon ritual here with Shaman Jimmy and Seer Healer Lisa. It's a married couple. If you were here last month for the full moon, amazing things happened. It was so awesome. So we still have, I think I probably have enough room for 4 more people. It's $20, but it's so worth it. So worth it. And especially working with Shaman Jimmy and Seer Healer Lisa. They're amazing. I can't say enough good stuff about them. And of course you have me. I'll be working with them too. But to work with them is a really special treat for me anyway. But yeah, I just see you, like, for so many of us, it's like the retrograde kicked me in my ass this past week. It really did. And I called, my friend up and I said, I think I have some issues. And she said, really? I would have never known. But yeah, I mean, it's like, if there's something that's really deep rooted in us that we haven't gotten over yet, don't think the universe is not going to continue to kick it out of you, because universe will. So I'll give you a very short story. I went through so many of you know about the relationship that I had, with boy in Hanahan. I call him a boy for a reason. But anyway, I overcame it. I got through the worst part of it. And I I thought that I was done. I really did. I thought I was over it. And then I had the opportunity, the blessed opportunity, to work with somebody that was just like this ex-boyfriend. The only difference between the two is one was having sex with me and the other wasn't. And so it was like universe was saying, no, you haven't got the lesson yet, but I'm going to give you this person that's going to teach you this lesson without the romance involved. And so there were some things that happened at work, and I finally quit. As all of you know, I quit my job, and I was so angry like this past 2 weeks. My dog chewed up my glasses. That cost me $400, immediately. I mean, just freaked me out. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I just quit my job. I don't have any money. How am I going to pay my rent? Yada, yada. I mean, the fears and everything. And then I had a dream about the ex-boss. And the next morning I woke up and I realized, oh, there's some stuff that's still lingering that I haven't gotten over, that I still have carried on from the breakup. It's not about the owner. It's not about the ex-boyfriend or anything like that. It's about me, and it's about universe helping me to get past that point and to dig deep and finally see the truth of my own personal truth of what I need to change, and how I need to change my thinking. So for many of us, I have another friend that's kind of going through the same thing. And so for many of us, we're all going through it. Embrace it, and thank universe for helping, because that's how we grow. That's how we grow into finding our true peace and happiness, our true bliss. And so I wish you all well this week. I know you're going to get through everything. Everything's going to be fine. So if your dog chews up your glasses and you got to spend $400, it's okay. It's okay. Just take a deep breath and say, it's okay. Let it go. Let it go. Like my friend Mary says, just let it go. So happy full moon to you. And I will talk to you next week. I hope you have a great week. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.